Hello, hello, hello! How are you guys doing this evening? I'm sitting outside of the gas station. Where is my wallet? I just got gas. Oh, my receipt is ripping apart. And I'm like shaking. And because it's cold. And I just got a fountain pop. I got a Dr. Pepper. And I just woke up from a nap. Hi, how are you? Sorry, I'm folding my receipt and putting it into my wallet. My fountain pop receipt and my gas receipt. Where is my leftovers? Ow, my hand. My leftovers from brunch. Maybe I need to eat a little something. Alex just made chicken fingers and waffle fries. Here's my leftovers from brunch today. Cinnamon toast and potatoes. Let me have a couple potatoes really quick. They're like these kind of potatoes. They need ketchup. Unfortunately, I don't think the cinnamon toast fared very well. I know why. I just took my medicine. And I took it on an empty stomach. It'll be fine in just a second. Cheers. I brought water. And then I got a fountain pop. And now we are off to vlogging. It's 9:27. And Alex is catching up on all of his shows. And I laid down at like 6:30 to take a nap. Well, he was upstairs and he was watching the new Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. And so I always sleep so well when he's like watching a TV show or something, and he knows that. And he was like, why don't you come upstairs? I'm gonna watch. So I came upstairs and lay down. And little Boo Radley laid right next to me. I made Boo Radley a little nest in the faux fur blanket. He's eating a little bit today, which is good. He ate about half of his dinner. And then I fell asleep. I was having the weirdest dream. I was having this dream that, well, like in my head, this is so weird. Okay, so there used to be this like diner and Carmel, where I went to high school, it was called Carmel Kitchen. And it was like this, kind of like a Denny's or a Perkins, but like local, like just diner. And like people in high school would go there and just like smoke cigarettes for hours and drink coffee and stuff. But it, like our crowd, like my little group of friends, we didn't always go there. We went there a couple times because one of my really good friends, she worked there. But we didn't go there a lot because it was kind of popular with two different crowds. It was kind of popular with like the real stoner, Def Leppard, kind of like that crowd. Which, I had a lot of friends in that group, but I wasn't necessarily in that group, because we were more of like the punk rock skater kind of group. And then it was real popular with, although none of my friends skated, that was kind of like, the skater group was kind of like a completely different group, but we were more of like, I'd say like the punk rock new agey kind of group. Although a couple of my friends dated skaters, but, and then it was also kind of popular with like the popular kids after they went to parties and got drunk and stuff, like they would come there. And I definitely was not part of that crowd. And so, anyway, I had this dream, and I was meeting my mom somewhere, and it was like on this rooftop, and it was in Carmel. And like, I didn't get it right away where I was. I was like, where am I? And then I kind of put two and two together. See, I shouldn't have started eating this. Well, I never eat on this channel. I rarely eat on this channel, so just bear with me. I put two and two together, and I was like, we're on top of the old country kitchen. We're like on the roof, because we were like outside, and it was like this balcony. Somebody is texting me. It was like this balcony that had been built, but it was all just like plywood. And it was this old, like on top of this building. And I could see the bank that I started my savings account at when I was just a little kid, until I put two and two together. So I was talking to my mom, and then these two girls showed up, and my mom got up and like gave them hugs. And I was like, how does she know them? Because they were girls in high school that I was like not friends with. And they were kind of part of like the stoner group. And so she was like giving them hugs and talking to them. My mom also, interesting, like in the dream, and this was like a period of her life, like she had, like, when I was like, I would say late junior high, early high school, my mom always wore this trench coat, and like all black with like a trench coat, and she had kind of longer hair that she wore back in these like barrettes, and she looked like that in my dream, which I don't have really that many dreams of my mom anymore. But when I do, it's never from like that era. You know what I mean? Like, she never looks like that in my dreams. I want like a good piece of the cinnamon toast so I can get some cinnamon going here. If you have never had, look at that, Cafe Pastry cinnamon toast, it is so good. So then other people start showing up. You know what I think it was? I actually, you know, like when you get recommended people on Facebook? Late last night I was on Facebook. I hate Facebook. I never get on Facebook. When I do, it just upsets me for some reason. I'm just reminded of somebody I don't want to be reminded of, that I never think of. And then, you know, so anyway, there was a picture of this girl that like I used to ride the bus with when I would ride the bus, and she was like from a completely different side of town than I was. I don't even know why she and I rode the same bus, but we did. Our bus route was like so long. Oh, you know what? I think it was when I had to take the late bus, like if I got in trouble or something, that I would ride with her. So anyway, she like showed up in my like ad, like to like not requested, but people you may know on Facebook. So of course I went through and lost an hour of my life, well, half an hour really, looking at all of the pictures from her life and like what she turned out to be. There's people I went to high school with, like, it's like they just learned about like Facetune in the last month or 2 or 6 months, because they have like all these pictures, like their selfies of like their profile picture is like so heavily Facetuned, they look like a watercolor painting. Like they literally, it always cracks me up when people Facetune themselves, like, you know who you are out there too. When you Facetune yourself out to the point where you don't even look recognizable as a human being. You look like those creatures from Avatar. Don't do that. There's no reason for that. So, anyway, in my dream, there were like 3 other people that I went to high school that were sitting over here. And they were people that like I was not friends with in high school that were cruel to me. And then my mom was sitting over here. I was sitting with some girl that I was friends with in high school. And there were like three or 4 other little like small groups of people, right? And I was like, this is the weirdest dream ever. And we were just hanging out on this patio, and we were all of us like smoking cigarettes and just like talking and stuff. I was like, this is so weird. So anyway, I was sitting there, just kind of like, it was so cold too. We were sitting out on this patio. I don't even know why we were all like meeting out there. And somehow I figured it out, like, that these people like met there like every other night, and that they had like, my mom was like, okay, she like had this piece of paper, and she was like, at one point she was cutting it out because this girl was like, I need your number. And so my mom was like, had this like flyer from below or whatever, and she was like, she had gone downstairs and gotten it, and she was cutting it out, and it had like my mom's name and number on it, and it said like crisis something on it. Like my mom was like a crisis worker or something. I was so confused by the whole dream. So it's probably something I heard on Sabrina, and I don't even, it's probably like, this is probably like the whole like thing of Sabrina. But anyway, hold on just a second. I need to pull in here and see who is texting me. Oh, it's Melissa. Hold on just a second. Melissa's like, she texted me, she's like, I need to know what this big project is that's coming in June. So she's like, she wants to know so bad. So anyway, at one point I got like real upset. Where's my good toast? Here's my good toast. I'm hungry. Somebody is pulling in here. Oh. Well, I also finished the graphic novel for Something Like Summer by J. Bell, of which the main character, Benjamin, gets like bullied in the book. So I don't know, that might have been part of it too. But that is delicious, even cold. You know you have a bomb cinnamon toast when it's even good cold, okay? I don't think I've ever had a cold cinnamon toast that's good. Did I tell you how mad I was that I left my risotto in here? I found it like 3 days after we went there and ate it. And I was like, oh, I can't eat it now. I was so mad about that. Not to mention it was expensive, and it was just like a waste of money. Okay, so in this dream, the way that I figured out that it was like this old country kitchen at some point was because these 3 kids over there, it was this one guy, these 2 guys and this girl, they were sitting over there. There was this other guy that came in and sat by himself who was always at country kitchen. He and I had history anyway from like when we were younger, as far as like not liking each other, and he always gave me a hard time in high school. Always, always, always. And then these 3 people were sitting over there, and they were kind of like a weird like not threesome, but they were kind of like a weird group. Like they weren't a group that I would have normally like put together in my head, like that they were friends, like when we were in high school. You know what? I think that might be it, because when I was like on this girl's Facebook, she was like connected to like people that we went to high school with, were like, which is so weird to me. Like, I mean, people probably think I am so ate up with what happened to me 30 years ago. And I mean, you know, it did have a great effect on me. But the fact that some of these people, I mean, I just am not, I mean, maybe I wish I still was and we all still lived in town, but I'm just not that great of friends with people that I went to high school with. And if you went through her Facebook, it was like the only people that she talked to were people from high school. And I don't even remember her being friends with these people. I remember looking at it and thinking, like, this is so weird that she's friends with these people that I never knew that she was friends with. So anyway, not that it matters, but whatever. So maybe that's where it came from. I'm trying to work it out, see, in my head. So I heard the one guy say something about something gay. Melissa keeps on texting me. And the girl did this, like, you know, like making the hand movements that people threw in my face my whole life, you know. And gotta pull in here and see what Melissa said. And then the other guy said something, and it was really harsh. And I actually think the third guy I didn't go to high school with. I think that he was this I think that he was this guy that my friend dated later after high school. My friend from high school, she dated him like later. But anyway, which is so weird that I remember all these people's names. Indianapolis is a small town. I mean, like, if you went to high school, let's say, like, I went in 90. If you went from, like, 87 to, like, 92 or 93, like, a lot of those people know each other. And not just at my high school, but, like, at the surrounding high schools. Like, so my cousin went to North Central, and she graduated in 87, and I graduated from Carmel in 90. And Carmel and North Central were kind of, like, rivals. Well, they are rivals. Like, football rivals and things like that. So, when, like, Caroline would know somebody that, like, at Carmel, that I knew they're, like, sibling. Does that make sense? Like, the sense, like, their younger sibling or something. So, I mean, it's small. Like, and it was the same with my mom and my aunt, because my mom and my aunt went to Broad Ripple, and they knew people that went to Shortridge, or, like, Ladywood, or Park, or Tudor, which are it's now one private school, but it was a boys' school and a girls' school back in the day. And, see, that helped me. I feel much better after eating that. I apologize for eating on camera. I know it's kind of like, well, I do it on my review channel, I guess, but I know people don't love it, but it made me feel better. So anyway, so this threesome group were like they didn't see me, but they were like making fun. That's important. They didn't see me. Like, they were making fun of, like, gay people. And so I walked over to the other side, and they all were highly respectful of my mom, too, which was weird. Like, they all knew her. Like, she was there a lot or something. And so I went to the other side, and I was talking to somebody, and the group of three were, like, leaving, and they were like, oh, my God, it's so good to see you. And I was like, oh, really? And they were like, yeah. And I mean, honestly, like, if that ever happened to me in public, I just would be like, oh, my God, it's good to see you, too. Like, I wouldn't be rude about it, right? Even if I had just overheard them talking about me, to this day, I've just, you know what? I just don't need that confrontation and chaos in my life from people that don't mean anything to me, really. Obviously, they mean something if I'm having a dream about them, right? So if somebody said that to me in public and I had just overheard them saying something, I probably would just let it fly. I mean, I just don't even care today, you know, to get that involved in it in the moment. But anyway, but in the dream, I didn't act that way, and which is weird, because in the dream, the one guy, the main guy, who was real popular when we were in high school, he was like, oh my God, I didn't see you over there. He was like, it's really good to see you. And I was like, really? I was like, is that why you were just saying all that stuff over there that you were saying about people that were gay? And he was like, what are you talking about? And the girl was like real kind of like nonchalant, which she always was, and she was like, yeah, what are you talking about? We weren't talking. I said, I heard you. I heard everything that you said. I said, do you think it's funny? I said, you know, it wasn't funny 30 years ago, and it's not funny to me now. And I said, people are dying every day out there, you know, and I said, this isn't funny to me. I said, kids are being bullied to a point where they're taking their own lives. I said, thankfully that wasn't my story. I said, you know, like, you think this stuff is funny. This isn't funny. It wasn't funny then, and it's not funny now. Haven't you grown up? Have you not grown up at all? And they just kind of looked at me, and then the one kid started talking about how his brother was gay and had, like, died, and all this horrible stuff. I don't know how he died. I don't remember what he said in the dream. And I remember when I looked at him and I said, so you want me to feel sorry for you even though you just were making fun of gay people, so you've learned nothing through this experience with your brother? And he just kind of looked at me, and I remember then I woke up after that. And I was like, what is this dream? Like, this is the weirdest dream. I have the weirdest dreams, you guys. And not only that, but last night, let me just tell you. So I have finished 4 books this year already, you guys. I finished 3 Jana DeLeon books, and I finished the graphic novel for Something Like Summer, which was really good, actually. And today I started the Fangirl manga. If you ever read Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell, which is like one of my favorite books of life, I don't think Rainbow Rowell had anything to do with it, because it says like adapted from the Rainbow Rowell book, Fangirl. But I started that manga today. It's about 2 twin girls that go to college, and the one twin doesn't want to room with the other twin, and the other twin is like terrified of her own shadow. And for years they've been writing Simon Snow fan fiction, which I actually on Audible today, even though I said that I can't get into that whole storyline because I read Carry On and I was so bored. This is what happened. So I noticed that Bunny, hey Bunny, how are you? Bunny Cakes. She read this book called The Troll on the Bridge or something like that. It's a novella, short story novella that Rainbow Rowell wrote for like Christmas time. Well, it's on Audible, and it was like $1.46 because it's only like 45 minutes long. So I downloaded that because I want to listen or read everything that Rainbow Rowell has put out. I love Rainbow Rowell. She's probably one of my favorite authors of life. Her adult literature and her young adult literature is fantastic. So I noticed that Bunny had read that. I hadn't heard of this until I saw that Bunny was, I think, her like Goodreads thing, where, like when you read a book on Goodreads, it comes up. I have mine linked to BookTube, but like on hers, it's, you know, so it came up and I saw it on Twitter. And so I was like, oh, I want to read this. So I got on there, and then I was looking at Wayward Son, which is the second book in the Carry On series, which is about Simon Snow and Baz, and it's fan fiction based on Harry Potter is what it is. That comes from the book Fangirl. This is all genius, okay? So Rainbow Rowell wrote a book called Fangirl. It was one, I think it was Eleanor and Park was maybe her first book, and her second book, I think, was Fangirl. Maybe. I don't know. I could be wrong. So Fangirl is about these twin sisters that go to college, and it has a lot to do with mental health issues. And the one twin is not, like, doesn't want to be in a room by herself, and she never really has made her own friends. And she lives in this whole world of Harry Potter, and they have written what is called they have invented this character named Simon Snow. It's fan fiction. And Simon Snow is basically Harry Potter. And Baz is Draco Malfoy, and if I remember correctly. So anyway, they're famous. Like, nobody really knows who they are, but they're famous for writing this fan fiction, you know? There was a long period, I don't think fan fiction is as popular today as it was 10 years ago. Maybe, I don't know. When I started on BookTube, it was still pretty popular, so 5-10 years ago. It's where you write fiction about people that you fan over, basically. It can be celebrity fan fiction. It can be, there's YouTuber fan fiction out there, even. I don't even know, does anybody know the forums where you find fan fiction? If somebody knows the forums where you can find fan fiction, list it in the comment section below. I'd kind of be interested to read some of it and see what's out there. Actually, so E.L. James, who wrote the 50 Shades of Grey books, supposedly, allegedly, those books are fan fiction based on the Twilight series. That's what I read somewhere or saw in an interview. I don't know how true that is. So anyway, so yeah. So when I was on Audible today, I went to Audible for a different reason. I went over there to buy some other book. Oh, I had screenshot like all these books that I saw people reading over the course of like a week. And so I went on Audible to see like how long they were, which ones they were. I can't even remember what they were. I downloaded, well, the only 2 I ended up getting today, I had 2 credits left because I've been buying credits like crazy, was that I noticed that Rainbow Rowell's 3rd book And I don't even remember the first Simon Snow book. I remember being so bored of it, and it was long. I remember, although I looked today and it was only like 11 hours long, but it just felt really long. So anyway, the second book is completely different than the first one. They go to like the Wild West, and they have this convertible and stuff. And I haven't read it. It's called Wayward Son, and I just had no desire to read it. And I thought, there's something fun about reading the entire canon of books by an author. And actually, Rainbow Rowell is important to me because I started listening to her, I think, before I wrote my book. So we were driving through the mountains in Tennessee. Alex had fallen asleep, and that was the audiobook that I was listening to. Either when we were going to Florida or coming back from Florida the year that I wrote the book, I think. We were on a road trip when I was listening to it. I can remember it. I can see myself driving through the mountains, listening to it. And it was the very end part, which I don't want to ruin for anybody if you haven't read it, because it's a fantastic book. But anyway, so out of Fangirl, Kath and her sister Ren, they've developed these characters called Simon Snow. Then, what's her face? Rainbow Rowell took Simon Snow and Baz and those characters that they had done fan fiction out of, and she wrote a book called Carry On, see? So there's like this huge novel called Carry On, which is all about the characters that Kath and her sister created as fan fiction. I'm just not that interested in it. I don't know why. Maybe today, if I read it, I'd be more interested in it because I understand the world building thing. Like when I originally listened to it, did I listen to Carry On or did I read Carry On? I feel like I own the book, so maybe I read it. I don't know. But when I read it or listened to it or whatever, I remember just being like so bored with it. Like I'm just not into this that much, you know? Maybe I would feel differently about it today. So anyway, I got both the book that Bunny read, so thank you, Bunny, for the suggestion. You didn't even know you were suggesting it. And I got the Wayward Son book. So I'll read that at some point. Part of why I buy the books when I do is because if I don't, then I kind of forget about it later, even though I put it on my wish list. My wish list on Goodreads is ridiculously long. There was a time when Goodreads, like twice a year, used to do this giveaway. I wish I would win it. I know I would never win it, but it was like twice a year, and you could win your entire wish list. Can you even imagine? Oh my God, I would die. That would be like one of the greatest gifts I could ever win, like in any kind of award or sweepstakes. It's literally like you're in everything that's on your, I think it was up to 200 bucks maybe is what it said, 200 titles or something like that from your wish list. But whatever you won had to already be on your wish list by the time that you won. So I would go through there and put all these books on, like as if I was really gonna win, you know? So I had to put all these books on the wish list. It never happened, but I can dream, right? A boy can dream. Dream a little dream of me. So anyway, I am like so many stories in at this point, I don't even know where this story started. So that's what happens. It's the snowball effect of Peter Monn storytelling. So I finished something like Summer today, which is so interesting because it's literally only like half of the story, but it was good anyway. And then I knew what happened because I had read the book that they turned the story into by J. Bell. But then I started Fangirl the manga, and it's good. It's been long enough since I've read Fangirl that it's kind of fun to read the manga of it. And yeah, I'm excited about it. So that's my fifth book. And then somebody recommended to me, I don't know the author, I'll turn around here and tell you who the author is. This series of books, it's a long series too, and it's called Misspelled, like miss, you know, but like a misfortune, that it's misspelled. Oh my God. And her name is Amelia Spelled. That's why her name is misspelled. Hold on, I'll tell you who it's by in case anybody wants to read it. Dream a little dream of me. It stopped. I thought I still had a couple minutes left. It's by Morgana or Morgana Best. And you can't see, but it has a witch in the front of it. And she's like in purple and green tights, and she's got this little dress on. Okay, and these two cats. When I tell you that this book is corny, I don't know who recommended it to me, okay? It's somebody on Twitter. When I tell you that this book is corny, well, the thing is, it's really interesting to me, is that there's literally like 20 books in the series, okay? But when I got on Audible to see how short it was, or how long, cozy mysteries are all around between like 6 and 8, 9 hours. It was 4 hours and 24 minutes, and I was like, okay, well, we'll try it. And if I love the story, because once you read one, it's like everyone, if you like the characters that are kind of introduced in the first one, even though more characters will be introduced down the road, if you like the kind of tone of the first one, then you're going to like all of them in the series, right? So I was like, okay, we'll try this. I was actually going to start the Dorinda Jones book, and I was like, well, we'll try this instead. I'm like, kind of like all this confliction, because I still have to read the true crime book clubs, but I want to like read it as close to the book club as possible. So I'm going to read this, and then one more, and then I'm going to read the true crime book club about Casey, what's her name? Lacey. No. Why can't I think of her name? Casey Anthony. So, this book is about this woman named Amelia. I don't know where she lives. They always are like big cities, it seems like. But anyway, this all happens in the first 18 minutes of the book. Are you ready? So, when she was growing up, her parents died when she was 14. Typically, these people have no family, okay? Or like some long, distant relative that they didn't know they had that dies at the beginning of the book and leaves them everything. Which I wish that would happen to me. Some relative that I never knew that I had, that it would be no emotional loss whatsoever, except for how tragic is that, and they're always like 100 and they just died of old age. You know, in the books they always are that, like, and then they leave them like an entire town or something, like, right? So anyway, she has this really tragic backstory that like her parents both died when she was 14, and then she just went from relative to relative to relative. Nobody really wanted her because she was such a burden. So she ended up living in, she says, the projects, and then she's like, I can't go back to that. So it starts off by her going to visit her boyfriend, Brad. I don't know why that cracks me up so much. Who's in the hospital, and he's furious with her because these nachos that she made gave him food poisoning. And so he breaks up with her, and she's like, but Brad, I ate the nachos and I didn't get sick. Get out of here, I'm done with you. And he's so mean to her. He's like, you're dull, boring, pathetic, and you aren't pretty. And the only reason that I dated you was because I knew that no other guy would hit on you. I'm like, this book is so problematic. There are so many, whatever, let's do it. So, she's like, oh, I can't believe you talked to me that way. So then she goes to work, and she's late to work, and 20 people get fired because they're eliminating human positions for customer service in another country. Let's just leave it at that. Another problematic kind of thing that the writer puts in there. And then she goes home. She like was cooking something. She's apparently not a very good cook, and she almost burnt down her apartment. And so she gets this letter which she thinks is going to be the bill. I mean, it's so like, and the writing, you guys, is horrible. It's like, I walked down the hallway when I got, and then I stopped at my door. At the door there was an envelope. The envelope was white. I opened the envelope. Inside there was a white piece of paper. I unfolded the white piece of paper. I'm like, oh my God, I cannot listen to 4 hours of this. This is horrible. Thank God I listen to books at 3 times speed. So anyway. So it's like this. Envelope was white. I opened the envelope. But anyway, so I'm sitting there, And I'm listening to this. Oh, then she gets, okay, she thinks it's a bill that she's going to have to pay for all this smoke damage in her apartment. It's an eviction notice. So within the matter of like an hour, her boyfriend dumps her. And she even laughs at herself in the book about it. Ha ha. Like, you would be like literally devastated, right? Then there's a second envelope by her door. Kel Sapri. And she has just her aunt, Witchy Poo Spellman or something, that she has never heard of, but kind of remembers her parents talking about before they died tragically when she was 14. That was always eccentric, they said. Her weird aunt, she refers to her, but she doesn't remember her at all. Left her a house, a profit-earning business. She refers to it as a profit-earning business, profit-making business, and 2 cats. And then we're in the car, and she's moving to the new town, which I'm sure there will be a police officer that she falls in love with. They're so corny, and I love them so much. I love them so much. They make me so happy. But they are so totally predictable. So yeah, I drove around today, and I finished the 13th book in the Janet DeLeon. Oh my God, what has my life become? Just one big cozy mystery. I guess I need a mystery in my life. But anyway, I finished the 13th book. It was about Halloween. It was actually a good mystery this time. I didn't really have it figured out. I mean, I kind of did, but I didn't really understand like I didn't have all the pieces together. They're not difficult mysteries. And you know what I realized today was that I don't really care about the mystery factor at all in the books. I mean, it's not the mystery that I'm reading the Janet DeLeon books for. It's totally the interactions with the characters. So it took place during Halloween. So there was like this week-long Halloween celebration and this developing relationship between her and the county deputy. His name is Carter LeBlanc, and good Louisiana name. And then her friendship with Ida Bell and Gertie, these 2 older ladies, and her friendship with this girl Allie that works at the local diner. And now she has, well, I don't want to say because I don't want to ruin it to anybody, but like in the 12th and 13th book, a lot changes. It gets really, really good. The 12th book, in fact, it gets, well, it's more like the end of the 12th book and the beginning of the, or is it the end of the 11th book and the beginning of the 12th book? I think it's kind of, between 11, 12, and 13, those are like the changing books, you know, where it gets really, really good. I haven't put any, cinnamon toast. Oh, we better close that up. We'll have that treat later. Dream a little dream. I'm actually not going to vlog for a long time tonight because I want to watch some TV or listen to an audiobook or go to sleep early. That might be the one. Ow, my thumb. I haven't taken my Band-Aid off today to see, like, I meant to. I brought a bunch of Band-Aids. Where did I put them? Oh, I put them in my inside pocket. I brought a bunch of Band-Aids because I wanted to change this. What is that? Let's see. So I have all these Band-Aids. I wanted to change it. And I forgot to do that earlier because I was going to look at it and see how it looked. But I didn't. Alex and I went to brunch today. We had a great brunch. Oh my God. So, there used to be this waiter that worked at Patashu. And he was going to hair school while he worked there. So now he's like the full 100% full-time hairstylist. Really nice guy. And he would always laugh when we were in there. Because I would be like, I would order the same thing. Alex and I will always order the same thing. But Alex has never said he wanted to try anything else. Alex got a hold of that Cuban, which is so funny because on Christmas Eve, Caroline was like, oh my God, I love the Cuban from there. Who is texting me? And that's what Alex always gets. But I would always say, oh, I want to try something different, or I want to try this or whatever. And he would go, you have to try the gluten-free waffle. And I'm like, the gluten-free waffle? And he's like, it's the best thing on the menu. And I'm like, really? One of the things they actually have there that I've wanted to try is that they have a grilled cheese sandwich made on, it's 2 waffles with cheese in the middle of it, and you dip it into tomato soup. Can we just talk about that for a second? Okay. Whenever I see people eating it, I'm like, oh my God. It's always like girls that are like, they get a picture of mimosas, and then they're sitting there and they're both eating like, or one of them will have like a Cobb salad because they have like incredible salads at Cafe Patachou. I've always just gotten, have I had a real salad there or just side salads? I think it's just side salads. But anyway, maybe I'll get a salad next week. So many times he would be like, oh, you have to try the gluten-free waffle. The gluten-free waffle is the best thing that we have. And I would just be like, okay, maybe next time. And he would just laugh. It was like this ongoing joke between us, right? So today I was like, I really want something different. And the waitress that we had is like somebody that we have a lot. She's really sweet. And so I was like, what is your favorite? The croissant French toast, which, like, if I don't get an omelet, I get the croissant French toast, which is literally French toast made on croissants. It's unbelievable. And I said, what's your favorite? The croissant French toast or the gluten-free waffle? And she goes, oh, the gluten-free waffle. And I go, really? And she goes, yeah. She goes, it tastes like an elephant ear. And I was like, sold at elephant ear. Sold at elephant ear. Anything that tastes like an elephant ear, bring it out. So they're so nice to us, because we're there all the time, and I was like, I wanted some crispy potatoes on the side and cinnamon toast because, oh, this is what happened. I said, can I get some crispy potatoes on the side? She was like, we just ran out of potatoes because we got there late. And I was like, that's fine. I said, can I get some cinnamon toast to take home with me? Because I thought maybe I'd be hungry later, right? And she was like, oh yeah. So then she comes out and she brings it all out, and she was like, they actually found some potatoes for you, which means that they grilled up some potatoes for me that they didn't have, which was really, really sweet. I mean, they're really nice there. They're unbelievable service. And like they open at something ridiculous like 6 in the morning, and they're there at like 5. I mean, and then they work until 3, standing on their feet all day long. They're just like, their wait staff is incredible, and they're so friendly and nice. And very talkative too. Like they're never just kind of like standing around. They're always like talking to people at tables and stuff. So anyway, I eat this waffle, and you guys, I need to tell you, this gluten-free waffle, it will set you free. It was one of the best things I've ever had. It was like so golden and so fluffy. It was perfection. It was absolute perfection. It was so good. I had just a little bit of butter on it, and then I put the syrup that they gave me. It was so good. And so at the end, I said to her, I said, you're so right. This does taste like an elephant ear. And she said, yeah, it's even better. She goes, I think it's even better than the regular waffle. And I go, you have a regular waffle? And she goes, yeah, of course we do. And I go, oh, why did I try the regular waffle? So she was like, I had to stop it because I said her name. But anyway, so she was like, well, next week you'll have to try the regular waffle. And I was like, yeah, we'll see about all that. But it was so good. So anyway, what else? Then afterwards, I like made a list of like all these things I want to do this week, all these videos I want to make and everything. And then I was like, you know what? I got very, very organized yesterday. I feel like there was something I forgot to do today. But I got very, very organized yesterday. I put away all of these notebooks that I have sitting around that I don't use, that I have out on like my desk area. I wrote out like all these things I want to do, always getting my stuff in together and in order. And I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna do anything today. I'm just gonna listen to my audiobook, and then on Monday, I'm gonna boom, 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 hit the pavement running. That's my plan. And I'm sticking to it. So, I mean, it's not huge plans or anything like that, but it's a plan. And that's the plan, Stan. Okay, let's see who's texting me. Please hold. Oh. Why are all these people texting me when nobody texts me? Literally nobody texts me all day long. And then all these people start texting me. We were supposed to get all this snow, and we sure didn't. Last night, really late. Was it when I was vlogging, or was it when I was listening to my audiobook? When was it? I don't know. But it started to snow. I think it was when I was listening to my audiobook, because I went way out. I mean, I went where there's only so many places to drive in Indianapolis. So I drove out into the country a little bit, and there was snow on the street and on the ground, and it was coming down, but not hard. Just kind of misting, but it was very pretty. But I was like, this is not gonna stay. It didn't, obviously, because we have no snow on the ground. I thought we were gonna have a real bad winter. I was like pretty convinced that, I will tell you this, these UGG boots were the best purchase I have made in a long time. My UGG coats should be here this week, but because I paid like $5 extra for expedited shipping, and they're already been shipped and on their way. But these UGG boots were like the best thing ever that I purchased. They are so comfortable. I like lay on the bed and just like keep my boots on, which I am not that person. I mean, we are not people that like lay on our bed with our shoes on. We just don't. We take our shoes off. I just like, they are so comfortable. I mean, I totally understand the hype of the UGG now, which is so corny and basic to say. People say they're real basic, but I mean, I know that they are. I think they're cute. I like them. I will probably like never not own a pair of Uggs now going forward. I mean, they're just like the perfect shoe for winter, especially if you don't like to wear socks. I mean, you can wear socks with them, but like, you literally can just throw them on, and they feel like slippers on inside, and they keep your foot super warm, but at the same time, like, they keep your foot, like, they're solid underneath there and arched and stuff, so it's like, I mean, it feels like a shoe. It doesn't feel like a slipper. And, I mean, I totally understand why people are in love with them now, you know? Whatever kind. I mean, if they're Uggs, you know, not Uggs, whatever they're called, you know, whatever you have. They're just, the whole kind of concept is very comfortable. I remember when they first came out, like years ago. Tanya's been wearing them forever, probably like 15 years or so. Well, longer than that, because the first pair that I bought was in Gatlinburg when I was with my mom over Christmas, and my ex and I had just broken up. And that was the leather pair that I have at home. That's the only other pair that I've ever purchased. That's oh, no. I have a pair of shoes. I have a pair of UGG shoes, too, and they never really fit me correctly. I think I got them at Nordstrom Rack. They're loafers. I finally threw them out because they just didn't fit my feet at all. They had like I thought they were slippers, and they weren't. They were loafers, but they had that like, that Sherpa inside to it, you know? So my mom and I, the last Christmas that we spent together when we were in Gatlinburg, I bought a pair of those leather Uggs from like Journeys or something, and they were like a size too big. They were like 11 and a half. So my mom was like, don't buy them if they're that big. And they were on sale. That was what it was. They were like half price or something. And she was like, don't get them if they don't fit you because you'll never wear them. And I was like, no, Mom, that's not true. And then I never wore them. Like, literally the only reason they're in our closet. Alex wears them because they fit him, but like, they're even big for him. And so, and I think Alex is an 11 or 11 and a half. The only reason I ever wear them is to like go out and take the dogs out in the snow. So these fit perfectly, but I got my exact size with these. So Tanya's probably been wearing them, I don't know, God, 15, 20 years maybe? And, I mean, she has so many different kinds of Uggs. Because she wears them to work, you know? So she'll wear sweats to work or jeans to work. And then she wears, like, her Uggs tucked into it. And she can be, like, you know, outside in the cold and hosing stuff down and whatever. But I remember when they first came out and, like, they were, like, kind of geared towards, like, that. I mean, they are an Australian company, but like guys could wear them like after skiing, or guys could wear them like after being on the beach, like for the male geared towards Uggs, you know, or whatever, marketed Uggs. Do you remember that? And, like, they would show like people, like a guy and a girl, and they were like very tan and have like blonde wispy hair, you know, and they would wear Uggs like after being at the beach and after surfing, and they were like the all year round boo, which they really are, I guess, but they're pretty fantastic, I have to say. I'm pretty impressed with the Ugg. So, anything else exciting? Alex goes back to work tomorrow. And I think that's it. Is that it? I think that's it. I think that's it. And I'm going to listen to a little bit of my audiobook now and then figure out what I'm going to do. I might call some of these people that keep on texting me. So I think I'm going to get off here a little early tonight. So I hope you anyway, therefore, nevertheless, that's my favorite. It's not my favorite, but one of my favorites, nevertheless. I hope that you are having an amazing Monday, an amazing beginning to your week. Set down your goals and your intentions for 2021 if you have not already done that, and your goals and your intentions for this week if you want to do that. And what else? Tanya Jean gave me a gratitude book back there. I'm going to take it in tonight because I'm going to start my written gratitude list every day for the rest of the year ahead. And yeah, and I think some kind of animal just ran in front of me. I think like, is it a black cat? Alex believes that a black cat running in front of you is good luck. Is that true though? I don't know. Anyway, and like I also always say, make sure that you reach out to, or make sure that you practice random acts of kindness. But also, like I always say, don't tell anyone, just do it because it's the right thing to do. It's a nice thing to do. Is that CVS out of business? I don't think so. Put some love, kindness, goodness, compassion out there in the world. And most importantly, make sure that you reach out to somebody and let them know how much they mean to you. Text, phone call, email, wave to your neighbor, make him a loaf of bread or some cookies. That would be real nice, wouldn't it? Just compliment somebody today. Make them feel better about themselves. It takes very, very little. And like it says in the 4 agreements, always lead with love. And I really believe that too, to lead with a place of love in your heart. And let's all put some kindness, love, compassion, understanding, healing, peace, surrender, tolerance, and forgiveness. I'm not going to make tolerance my last one anymore. So tolerance and forgiveness out there into the world. And what was it on my Peterson's channel, or was it this channel that I said there was a really good reason for tolerance? I was like, there's a reason I can use tolerance. But anyway, tolerance and forgiveness and kindness. Never forget kindness. I think that's maybe one. The idea of being gentle and kind, you know, like that. Anyway, my mom always loved the idea of like a flock of sheep, you know, just tending to your flock of sheep. Like that was like a religious allegory that she really loved, you know, that idea of maybe we treat each other a little bit kinder like that as well, you know? And I love you guys so much, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya! Since I haven't done it yet this year, I had to do it tonight. Just have to say, one more I love you. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya!